I'm David Fleming from the Disciples Ignited YouTube channel, where we're focused on Jesus, advancing his kingdom, and preparing his disciples. Now, we're studying about revival outpourings that have taken place throughout church history, and we're ending this teaching on revival outpourings with one of my favorite outpourings, and that is the Brownsville Revival outpouring that took place in Pensacola, Florida. I was personally able to attend the Brownsville Revival several times, starting in 1998. Now, that is 3 years after the revival actually started in 1995. But one of the things that impressed me most was that was the very fact that the revival outpouring wasn't due to any one particular person or type of ministry. The singing was great, the worship was awesome, the preaching was powerful, but none of those all by themselves ushered in the mighty presence of God. I mean, more than anything else, the move of God was a product of God's grace. There's no other way I can express it to you. As soon as you entered in, you just sensed the presence of the Lord. But listen, I'll be honest with you. I've been in lots of awesome, powerful services that in many ways were even more powerful than that which I personally experienced at Brownsville. But I'm telling you, I have never personally experienced the power of God's grace to transform people's lives like I did at Brownsville. Now, although I didn't go at the peak period of the revival, the outpouring was still going strong in 1998 when I was able to go. And many people were still manifesting various physical phenomena, but those that weren't claimed that the Lord had personally touched their lives in life-changing, powerful ways. In fact, I personally saw people set free instantly from things that you could visibly see were just enslaving them in sin. You know, when Steve Hill, the evangelist, would give the altar call, I'd never seen altar calls like this in my life. He said, I'm going to count to 3, and I'm going to bind the devil who has many of you bound in shackles and sin. And at the count of 3, I'm going to command the devil to loose you. I'm going to break those chains that had you bound, and I'm going to command the enemy to set you free. And when he does, you've got just a few seconds to get down to this altar and repent and get right with God. Or else if you don't, you're just saying, devil, I don't want to be set free. Put those chains right back on me. Well, I'm telling you, he would count 1, 2, 3, and then he would bind the enemy. I'm literally telling you that the atmosphere was spiritually electric. And then when he bound the enemy and he said, get down to this altar and get right with Jesus, I mean, it was like a floodgate was released in that auditorium. Hundreds at the same moment would run down to the altar. I saw younger people literally jumping over pews to get to the altar to get right with Jesus. You saw people just with a cloud of darkness hanging over them, visibly enslaved in sin, with all kinds of deviant, perverted lifestyles. And then you'd see them moments later, after a short period of time at the altar, stand up, no longer enslaved in darkness, but set free by the power of God in Jesus. Oh, y'all, it was powerful. And that's why I today have dedicated myself to praying for a revival for this generation. Oh, how we need it. And we're going to receive it. Join me tomorrow. I've got more to share.